The Campfire Alien Brain. Let's talk about it. Now, this is a sample sent out to me by Campfire, and this is a single dynamic driver for BA IEM that costs around $1,000. Let's start by looking at the build quality of this IEM. The shell on this IEM is fairly peculiar. It has kind of this brain of alien sort of look. It also, I can't really lay it flat. It's very round. It has venting on the top and the bottom. It is an MMCX cable. Looks durable, and it's a nice overall shell. It has an interesting fit that won't be for everybody, and a faceplate that is unique. The fit is a challenge. I wanted to show this to you that it is magnetic, and if you put these two together, they will move the IEMs together, which made shooting my thumbnail a challenge. Now, if we look at the cable for this, the cable is quite nice. It comes with two different cables. I'll show you the other one in a bit. The other one is a 4.4. I like that they include both. I think it's a nice touch. These are basically your standard Campfire cables, but they're nice, they're comfortable, and I have no problems with it. This is a look at all the stuff that we have. We have a bunch of tips. We also have a cleaning brush and a little Campfire pin. We have some tips that are sticky. This is a challenging fit IEM, and it took me a while to really get used to the fit. And and these tips that it comes with, it does come with foams, but right here in the back, these ones, they're really quite nice to use because they do help the IEM fit in ear, which might be a problem for you. So I'd recommend doing tip swapping with these. It also comes with IEM little booties and a cleaning brush. The accessories are very nice and pleasant. It is a fantastic unboxing experience, and it has the case that I'm seeing on a lot of IEMs. It's kind of magnetic and leather. It's not too big, not too small, and it fits the IEMs perfectly on the go. I love these little cases. I have one on the Jomo Nautilus as well, which will be coming up pretty soon for review. It also comes with its own little DAC amp, which is a great touch, which I think more companies should include things with. So for it is $999, but overall it is a great unboxing experience. Now, how does the Campfire Alien Brain sound? Well, first of all, we've talked a little bit about the fit and comfort, and the fit and comfort is unique. If I saw this IEM with other IEMs that are more beautiful, I may not pick it up. And so it does kind of have this unique look to it. It does have a unique fit to it. And it took me a while to get used to this fitting in ear. They talk about burn-in with like the sound that the drivers need to be settled, and I don't fully believe in that, but I do believe that some IEMs might take a while to kind of fit in your ear and kind of get adjusted to how they fit and feel in ear before you're really used to it, and you might have to tip swap. And this is kind of one of those IEMs that when the IEM sits exactly where I want it to in canal and need it to sit, the sound on this is impeccably great. It has great bass, great treble, great upper extension, and it's just an all-around really strong, fun set that has a very unique sound, but very good at the same time. I wanted to show you guys some graphs and kind of do some comparisons with some other Campfire IEMs and other IEMs, but suffice to say, I'm very satisfied with the sound quality of this IEM, with the bass being impactful, the highs being detailed and sparkly, and the upper mids being fully present. It's an impressive, endgame worthy sound quality IEM, in my opinion. All right, here's a look at the graph of the Campfire Alien Brain. Notice it has a nice graph, a little bit of extra 1K energy, but a nice kind of dippy energy with a nice amount of bass, not too much, but like it basically has what is my opinion like the perfect bass shelf with not being too much, not being too little. It's just a really overall enjoyable experience for this lower mid-range and upper mid-range area. It's an all-around really solid set. I wanted to show you some of other Campfire IEMs just so you can kind of get an idea. One of the first ones I reviewed on channel was the Trifecta, and you'll notice the Trifecta is a very colored sound. It is a little bit more unique, and it's not going to be for everybody. Let's just suffice it to say some of these peaks that it has, which does not exist in the Alien Brain. So it's a lot more normalized sound that I think a lot of people are going to enjoy. But again, you know, if you're someone who can afford the Trifecta and you love it, that's one of those things that you know, you got it's that market, and sometimes that market is very colorized and different, whereas this IEM is very well done and extremely well done. I also got to review the Campfire Axion. Now the Axion is a portable USB-C IEM, so it's not on every place on my ranking list. It's listed with the USB-C IEMs. I like the Campfire Axion. It's a warm, fun, bassy set, but it does lack a little bit of extension upper treble, but I do find this is something that is what a lot of people are doing. I think it's a really fun set, but it does have some things that can sound a little bit different and unique, but I like the Axiom, but I think the Alien Brain is a little bit better in that regards. Now, the Moon Rover, and we're going to talk about the Moon Rover a little bit again later. This is a really great set, and they did this last year. It's a planar IEM. A lot of people are like, well, you know, it's $1,000. Look, I mean, there's a point where you can talk price dynamics and the impact of Orange Man on you know, Chi-Fi and all that, but after a point, you got to talk about sound quality and what works for people. And like the Moon Rover is one of the best planars that I've ever got to experience. I absolutely love the Moon Rover. And it's also measures very, very well, and it looks great. I love the Moon Rover. I think it's a fantastic set, and I really dig it. It kind of lacks that special sauce, but it's a fantastic set that's really well tuned. And I think this is kind of like that with just a little bit more bass, and it's a better tuned set in my opinion. If you look at something like the Astrolith, now I like the Astrolith. I thought it was fun, but it did have some wonky areas, but it was a really fun, engaging sound that I thought was very unique and very awesome. But it is an expensive set. It's not going to be for everybody how expensive it was. And like the Bonneville, like I didn't really like the Bonneville. It was like one of these bassy sets, kind of warm sets that didn't really have that amount of treble for me. I felt it had too much of this upper air regions, and I like it, but it just did not work for me. It's one of those sets that like you know, it just kind of baffles me sometimes with certain tunings, and it's probably my least favorite of all the Campfires. But the point that I'm trying to make is that the Alien Brain really has something special about it. Now, if you look at other sets, and this is the Moon Rover, this is over on Mark from Super Reviews Rig. He has a few other Campfires, and you can tell like you have the Durago 2020, and it's tuned a little bit more unique. We have something like the Aura, and this is, you know, the Campfire already. Aura is it's a nice, pretty flat set. The Andromeda is a fan favorite, everyone, but I kind of think the Moon Rover's graph is even prettier. I mean, we'll look at other stuff. Like the point that I'm trying to make as we look at all these other sets is that this is one of the more standardized, normalized sets from Campfire, and I think it's a really good set, and I think it's something that you guys should check out, even, you know, just sonically, because I think it's really cool. One set that is kind of reminding me of is the Camper. Now the Camper is one that I didn't really love. I just felt like it kind of lacked that incisiveness. There's something about the Alien Brain, like it's, you know, it's a lot cheaper. It has a really nice fit. The Camper didn't really fit that well for me, and I thought it was a little bit overhyped. It just didn't have that it factor for me. I think the Camper 622B is a really nice set, but I think these two trade blows. I personally prefer the Alien Brain, and there's $1,000 set versus what, $4,000 set, and I think that's really something to think about when you get into the high end. Is like, where does the graph look like? Is it something you have to cope over? And the Alien Brain's graph reminds me a bit of the Camper in the fact that you don't have to cope over. It's a really nice set with really nice mids and bass, and it's just an impressive set overall. Another set that's kind of around this price is the Dune Glacier. The Dune Glacier has a lot of upper mids. It's a well done, high-end, V set, whereas the Alien Brain's a little bit more neutral, a little bit more of an all-arounder set. Not as much air and extension. It's just subdued just a little bit in that presence region, and it does a really good job being a long-term, non-fatiguing, great overall set. If you look at something like the Acoustics Lab Apostle, they have the same almost bass shelf, like almost all the way up until about 2K. And I kind of wanted to show that to you guys. I just think that's interesting. I really like the Apostle. But yeah, I have an Apostle coming in that I actually purchased, and I really like that set. The Alien Brain trades a lot of blows with even some of the greats. Like this has a really nice frequency response graph, and I think it's going to have really great widespread appeal. And I think it hits a certain niche in the market that I haven't really seen Campfire do. And I really give huge kudos to them for doing something that looks like this. And I just think it's an absolute fantastic set, but there are some issues with it. Another set that's right around 1,000 is the Dita Mecha. The Dita Mecha has really nice bass. Like, let's normalize this at 500 to look at this a little bit better. Notice very similar bass shelves too here. The Mecha is kind of, my problem with it is just had a ton of upper mids, kind of like this V-shaped style upper mids. So if you look at other sets around 1,000, you have something like the Cantor. Now the Cantor has a lot of upper mids right here, and I think that's something that it's going to scare a lot of people off, and so you kind of have to worry about it. But what I kind of would recommend with the Cantor is kind of look at it. I graphed it with a deep fit, which is kind of how it sits in my ear. And if you look at that, you'll notice that it's like a lot, like the upper treble is a lot more evened out. And so like the Alien Brain has a really good job at having good ripples through that upper, mid, and treble region. It doesn't come across detailed and sparkly and airy, but it does come across really natural, full, and rich. And that's, I think, one of the strengths about this IEM. Like one IEM that I really like is the Omnium. Now, one thing about the Omnium is the Omnium kind of has an interesting graph. Like it has kind of a dip in this upper mid range. It kind of has a lot of presence region, a lot of air, a lot of mid treble, and it kind of has an interesting graph that's sort of hard to justify. And sometimes we have to cope when we look at these sets that are expensive. The Alien Brain sounds great in ear, has a great graph, and it does a lot of things well, and I really like listening to music on it. All right, so let's rank this up. I mean, what can you say about the Alien Brain? It's one of my favorite Campfires to date. I think it's a really good set that people are going to like. I gave it good scores on bass and mids, and its treble is nice. It doesn't have that sense of space that you might want. It doesn't have that thumping note weight that you might want. It's not a bass heavy set, but it has nice, clean bass, and it does a really good job of a lot of different things. And I really am impressed with what this IEM does. And it's just an all-around nice, rounded set that comes from a good high-end company that does audiophile tuning, and I think it's one of their better IEMs to date. A lot of the reason I have a ranking list is to kind of back up what I can say. And what I can say was I look at this and like I think the Alien Brain is one of the best sets, even in that $1,000 to $2,000 range. And even if you put it in at this under $900 set, it does really well. But at that $1,000 range, it is an extremely nice, extremely impressive set that I think people are going to like. For me personally, this is where I've listed all like a bunch of sets by their company and by their brand. And for me, the Campfire Alien Brain, well, I think the Astrolith is going to appeal to people and has kind of this majestic quality in its treble and its upper air and its space. Like if you're looking for that, something that's majestic, I think that's going to be a better bet. But the Alien Brain has a really grounded sense of reality, something that I didn't really expect that it would like from such an unusual shaped IEM and such a crazy kind of fitting IEM. But sonically, when you can get past the fit, it's so awesome. So conclusion time, the Alien Brain does get a really strong recommendation. I think it's one of those IEMs that a lot of people are going to look at it and say, oh, it's $1,000. It's probably terrible. When in fact, I think it's maybe one of the best IEMs that have come out this year. It has a great frequency response, a unique, design philosophy, fun unboxing experience, great all around IEM. It doesn't have that normal campfire warmth. It doesn't have that flat neutrality. It has something new, something different that I think Campfire hasn't really done before. And I really want to commend them for doing something different and doing something unique, as I think this is an absolutely fantastic IM. I'm excited to share with you guys. Thanks for watching my silly video. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye. You're still here. It's over. Go home. Oh, you're expecting a teaser for our next video. Well, we don't have that kind of money. What are you expecting? One of those store reviewers to show up in a saucy little leather number? Go. Oh, I can tell you one thing. We are going to have a collab video. We have no idea what it's going to be. Probably Kryn, maybe Chris. Or Joyce. Don't deny it. She's got range. Go. Get out of here. Go.
Go!
Go.
Go on with you!